Vertel ons je story hier, uit op die koekplek. Laat die wereld niet meer wonder wie hij is. Laat je story opbring, gaan leef nou als pres. Leef als pres, laat elke dag tel. Leef als pres, laat jouw licht verschil.
When you talk about rugby, there's always this nice intervention between a father-son, and the combination is always special. And it's nice if a son can walk the same path as his dad, but the son must also walk his own path. Welcome to another episode of 80 Koekpluk out of the cookie jar. We're doing audio 1 today, so we're going bietjie die Engels vandag. And we're having a chat here with Greg Bruwer and Sam Bruwer. Welcome to 80 Koekpluk, guys.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here.
Lovely. Guys, yeah, let's have a chat. You guys are obviously very well known in the Joburg area, and they're so special. It's my first father-son combination that we've got here. Sam, you don't have to feel stressed out that we're not going to do any exams with you. Coming out of matric from last year, Kes boys, both of you.
Yeah.
Sam, tell us about Kes. I mean, before we start telling the people about what a special school.
Yeah, I think it's probably, I'm being biased here, probably the best school in the country. There's none other like his. Got there in grade 8, and just my journey has probably been the best experience of my life. You know, not just the actual school, but the people you meet, the friends you make, and most importantly, kind of what they teach you in life that guides you through the rest of your life.
Traditional school. I think people go a lot for modern schools today, but the old schools, if I can call it that way, with all due respect, there's so much tradition and there's so much discipline towards that, and I think that's the bar that's been set.
Absolutely.
In the same time, you've been head boy last year and first team captain.
Yeah, it's a big privilege, and yeah, it was just an amazing experience, and yeah, I'm just truly grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. Greg, but you also, how nice is it to actually have that flow from what he's experienced, you've already experienced. I think that's, if he comes home and says, Dad, they're doing this and this at school, you say, I know.
Yeah.
How lucky is that?
No, absolutely. I think for me, Kes was a life-changing experience. I was at Greenside High until halfway through grade 11, and then went across to Kes. I was only there for 18 months, and a lot of guys actually don't know that I was there for such a short time, but it completely changed my life. And I think my boys had no choice. They knew exactly which high school that they were going to.
Yes.
Right from primary school, and to share that with them has been an amazing experience.
There's a big rivalry in Joburg schools, and I'm talking more the English schools around. How was that transition? Because I mean, you went from Greenside. That boys must have given you a hard time going over to Kes. I mean, that's not their friends.
Yeah. No, I must say they were actually all quite supportive in the end. It was quite funny. I'd actually played for Greenside first team against the Kes first team in '89. It was soon after that I made the decision to move across.
Yeah.
I think obviously they were sad to see me go, but I think everyone understood that. I felt that my rugby future would be in a better place if I went to a school like Kes. And I think at the time there was only one Easter festival, and that was the St. Stithians Week, and it was a dream of mine to play at the St. Stithians Week, and I think that was a big driver for me to go to Kes as well.
Yeah, and I think then bringing it back to you, Sam, is your dad has already walked that path. So was it easy coming from primary school into that Kes with a dad that's already telling you, or did you not tell him about what's going to happen to him?
Yeah, I think coming from a private school, a very English school, it's quite tough coming to a big school like Kes, especially when your father's an old boy and he's created such a good legacy at Kes, and it almost puts a bit of pressure on you, that you have to kind of get to the standard. So there was a lot of pressure and nerves going into grade 8.
But you came from St. David's Primary.
Yes.
And you were water polo.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We in the Afrikaans schools, I think we can hardly swim. For you guys getting in, that's intense. I must say, one of the sports I think you must be the fittest is water polo, and you enjoyed your time there with St. David's and water polo, but you also got Lions Seaside from there.
Yeah, so St. David's is a very strong water polo school. They actually are known for their water polo, and the rugby wasn't too strong, but they did give us a lot of opportunity. We had great coaching at St. David's, and I had to kind of go through the club rugby system to try and make provincial. So I played for Pirates and got invited to Central Charles, and then made that team. I had to go to the Lions Charles, and I made the C team. But I was very chuffed when I was a young private school kid making that team. So
if you start looking at some of our mates, and we're all getting grey now, but having old Pirate boys, and then we're going to go to the Pirates later on, but having two Pirate boys to take him, and I think that helped you a lot as a primary boy. I mean, you started at 5 years old, starting at Pirates. I think that helped you a lot with Ryan Hendricks and McCook.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
The two
I
strong boys.
always say that a lot of Sam's toughness actually came from those practices that Rota Hendricks and Nigel used to put them through. And then I think playing against the Afrikaans clubs who were tough, we played against all the clubs, the Albertons, the definitely added an edge to Sam's rugby before he got to high school.
Oh, that's like it. And then you arrived at Kes, and I mean, it's a no-nonsense rugby school, and I just always remember when I was in high school, and as a Monas boy, we went down to Kes, and I said, Kes, where's Kes? And we arrived there in skiing Edward, and that's such beautiful buildings and stuff that's there, and it was amazing. And I think we as Afrikaans team were always like, Niels gaan die Souties stam. And we arrived, and Kes was strong.
So actually during my era, I think Kes was Monas's bogey side, in that I think while I was there, it was the 5th year in a row that we had beaten Monas, and we beat them at Monas. It was quite a big score in 1990. But for some other reason, we couldn't beat Pretoria boys, and you guys couldn't beat us. So it was a funny thing that was going on.
But there's always on the Pirates group a lot of flack around the Pretoria boys versus the rest of the guys. It was always a tough thing. Let's move a bit to your history. You had your stint from high school, and then when you just give us a little bit of background on from high school upwards.
Yeah, so I think obviously I played first team at Kes in 1990 and we had a very good side. I think probably my biggest rugby disappointment still to this day was that I didn't make the Craven Week side. What I decided to is at the end of my season I actually went to play for Wits under 20s, and I made the Wits under 20 A side as a school, and we ended up playing against the Rao side in the final, which had all the Transvaal under 20 players in the side, and we did lose. But I got sort of noticed by Swais Joubert. So the next year, in 1991, when I finished school and I was playing for Wits, I was lucky enough to make the Transvaal under 20 side. And we were actually coached by Jake White that year. And we actually, for the first time ever, we beat Rao twice. And most of the Transvaal under 20 side that year was actually made up of the Wits players. So we had a fantastic side. And that kind of got me my foot in the door into the provincial rugby. Played played Transvaal under 20 for 2 years. In my last year of under 20, I actually decided to play senior rugby, and I made the Wits first team. We were actually coached by the British and Irish international Jeff Squire, and had a first team season as an under 20, which was obviously gained a lot of experience. Then decided to move to Rao because my dad felt, especially at the time, that if you wanted to make Transvaal, you needed to be at Rao. But I arrived there playing as a first team flanker, and Koos Ellis said to me, you can either play fourth team flank or first team hooker, but you decide. You need to make the change. So I gave hooker a go for 2 years, then made my provincial debut at hooker in 1995. It was when the World Cup was going on, and James Dalton and Chris Rousseau, who were the Lions hookers at the time, were with the Springboks. So there were a couple of games during that time period. Played hooker for 2 years. Didn't like it. I didn't have the attitude of the Warren Bakos and the Leon Bosso. So after I finished my degree at Rao, I went to Wanderers and moved back to Loose Ford. Played there for 3 years, and I think it was 1999. A few of us, Wanderers was on the down and Pirates was on the up, and a few of Mark Watson, James Moss, a few of the Wanderers guys decided let's move across to to Pirates.
That's a
and,
big one.
yeah, and it was a Pirates golden era. I mean, we had the most unbelievable time there. You know, had some unbelievable players. You know, captained by Glenn Kolbowski,
Yeah.
a bit of a legend.
Oh, yeah.
But we had some great players, and we won a lot of games. And yeah, it was a hell of an experience. And
Sure.
finished there.
But calling the clubs now, you were talking about Wits, and you now started at Wits, but having Wits, having Pirates, having Wanderers, and even a row on the side, which is today UJ.
Yeah.
Yo, that's all the rivals.
Yeah.
That's tough to move across, and I don't think a lot of people know that. But a Pirates and a Wanderers, although we are mates, that's a big move. Or even a Wits Wanderers, a Wits Pirates. That's always a tough move.
Yeah, no, it is. But I think when you get to a club and you start playing with the guys, everyone welcomes you with open arms. And I think Pirates especially, I played with a lot of the guys in the provincial setup, so I did know a lot of the guys.
Yes.
With Leon Boshoff and a couple of the others. So it was a great move, and
Sure.
I must say I really do view myself as a Pirates boy. Ended there at great memories, great rugby.
Yeah,
And,
it was an awesome club.
Yeah, just a magic club. Yeah.
Coming back to you, Sam, you played with quite a few nice case boys that really played high level rugby as well. Just give us a few names that really stand out in that case setup.
Yeah, I think when you say big names, my 2024 season comes to mind. That includes the likes of Super Setsu Nobelele, Sampier Vusi Moyo, Thomas Beeling, Kebutile Make, all guys that are now playing professional rugby, and 3 of them in the junior Bork side, and 2 of them already winning junior Bork World Championship, and 1 of them being called up to the Springboks. So it's a true honour. And then in my matric year, Chinedu Amadi, and he's playing for the Bulls now, and Regan McGurk. So I can name others, and guys like Michael Barnes, who are also thriving now after school.
How nice is it if you? I mean, it's always like that. I mean, it's nice having mates, but playing with good guys just brings the best out of you as well. I mean, it's not that you are worse than them. It's just a matter of they keep you intact, and they keep you in the game, because it's a high level of rugby that they're producing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think you learn a lot from them. You kind of want to strive to get to their level, and I just learned a lot from them, and they've definitely driven me to be a better rugby player.
And now you also, it was looking at when I prepped for you guys, it's almost like it, and that's so amazing about the father-son, is like you went to Kes. Now he's at Wits. That's where you also started your career. Now I also played a lot of Witsy rugby in my life, and special clubs. It's and how's the things that with the varsity now? I mean, everyone is putting a lot of focus on varsity. Is it tough?
Yeah, I think like in the modern day, clubs aren't as strong as they were in terms of talent and where the schoolboys go to. I think it's shifted more towards the Varsity Cup and the Varsity Shield. So like most schoolboys that want to pursue rugby will either go to unions, like the Lions or the Sharks.
Well, looking at your face, it looks like varsity is really had its bit on you. What happened there?
Yeah, it's much tougher. You're playing guys that are 24 years old. So we were playing against UKZN in Durban, playing for Wits, and made a carry. Guy tackled me with his head on the wrong side, and he was upright. It was a head-on-head collision, and then split my head open.
Sure. I think a head injury looks worse than it can be, but you're gonna get a lot of goals attention from that.
Hopefully.
Coming back to you with you then picked up injuries from your career. I mean, you were on a drive. You were going very well. Everything was in place. The Pirates was playing in the club champs, and they were undefeated. And what happened?
Yeah, so I think in 2000 we had the club champs at Pretoria at Loftus, and we went through it unbeaten, but because of the draw, they'd messed the system up. We didn't actually get to the final.
And winning everything.
and we'd beaten a very strong KZN side. Had 3 Springboks in it: Wayne Farvey, Trevor Halstead, I think it was Philip Null, on our second game. So we really performed well, and then ended up playing sort of in the 3rd and 4th, even though we hadn't lost. So it was a bit disappointing. And then the following year, a week out from the club champs at Stellenbosch, I did a week or 2 out, I did my ACL, and also I was just picking up good form. So I was really looking forward to that club champs, and then they actually went on to win that club champs in 2001. So I watched it from my couch in my just post-op operation. So it was a bit disappointing, but obviously very happy for Pirates and very happy that I was part of that. Dick Muir was our coach at the time. It was a lovely experience, one I missed out on.
But you did your ACL a second time after that.
Yeah, so then about a year or so later, I tried to come back, make a bit of a comeback. And as I was, I think it was like a 3rd or 4th team game, came off the bench, trying to get a bit of game time. I did my other knee. And so then our second ACL went. And then, to come back one last time, made it back into the Pirates' first side. But it was 2005. But I kind of felt by then I wasn't the same player, and then I sort of slightly injured it, and I was like, okay, I think it's time to.
Greg, how tough is that part, eh? If I look back at mine as well, and I mean he's now a youngster and up and coming, and you've got your things going, but that little box at the end where you're sitting there and you need to retire. I mean, you knew already when you got there, my knees are stuffed, I need to stop. But I think we all get that disease called harregat. Because we don't want to leave it. That's a tough time to call it quits.
Yeah, I think rugby as a whole, if you've played a lot, it's very hard to replace when you stop. You just don't get that same feeling from doing other sports or other stuff. So I think you've got to get your head around that. I just had my first son was just born. So it was around about 2005, and I also thought, okay, look, I want to be able to play with this guy as well. I would not be completely injured. I was actually on the physio bench with I think Richard was our physio at the time, and I said, okay, Rich, I think it's time. And I actually phoned Glenn from there, and I said, okay, I'm out, because Glenn Kobleski was our coach at the time, and I said, no, I think I'm done.
Sure.
And that was it.
But you always have it at the back of your head of like, maybe one game. And the worst part is the mates phoning up saying, hey, we need for the 3rd side on Saturday, we're playing this and this, or old boy thing. It's really tough. I'd said when I stopped, I said, that's it. I'm not even going to play old boys. I'm not going to, because I know it just triggers you back. It's like a drug that you're taking. Sam, to come back, that behind us is that teddy bear arms and your dad's case jersey. What is the teddy bears? What is that case's traditions?
Yeah, so the teddy bear is the mascot that represents Kes, and it started off as it was actually a long story.
No, go for it.
In the early days, like when the school had just been funded, there was an athletics team, and basically, there was an old lady that lived next door, and she asked them to politely do something, and then they did them a favor. I don't exactly know what the favor was, and she gifted the boys with a teddy bear, a massive teddy bear, and it kind of became a symbol of what we stood for, how we serve others, and that just carried through to the modern day.
Is it still the same teddy from the old time?
It's a massive teddy bear, and it's in the Kes Museum. So
oh wow! So it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. It's a bit ratchet at the moment, but it is still there.
Was that in your time as well? The same thing?
Yeah, teddy bears have been around for a long time. Yeah.
How amazing is that? And it's nice that they keep that as a. I'm so glad that the older school, especially now these days, they try and keep the memorabilia intact, because you know what, you want your son to be there as well one day, so you also want to take him through so kom papa jou wys. So that's very lekker. When you were and you were running the head boy part of the school, is there big responsibility, or is there a lot of people that's helping this thing, this whole system going, or is it a very lonely place?
Yeah, I think we have a whole system and a group of mentors. I had a Heavy 10 boy was like one of my best friends, Chinero Amadi, was also in our side of the Bulls. So me and him were very close, and so he did support me a lot. But you do say it is a big responsibility,
Sure.
and yeah, 100%. Like you kind of carry the whole school, you know, and
Yeah.
you're kind of the face of that, and you have a responsibility to behave and, you know, lead by example. You know, you can't be out of line because you're the guy that's supposed to be putting people in line. So yeah, definitely a massive responsibility, but it's also just a massive privilege, you know, to be in that position. So yeah, just used it.
I'm glad you're calling it the face of the school, because looking at it and then just standing from the side is one boy, and that's why I'm asking you the question. As a head boy, I mean, everyone always say, "Oh, I want to be head boy, head boy," but to be the head boy of a school like that, and you are the face. You are the face of. Who's the current who took over from you?
So Matthew Bromley took over from me.
Okay. And did you guys have discussions, or is it just he carries on, or do they say, listen, just help this oak into his position?
No, like definitely. The head boy that was above me, he helped me a lot and he guided me, and you know, I've done the same for Matt. So I've helped him with whatever he needs, and yeah, definitely just gave him a sense of kind of what he's facing.
Yeah. You now got a contract with the Lions. With the junior or the under 21 side. Tough time. I mean, you have to produce, but it's a nice privilege to be part of the Lions setup at this moment. How's that influencing your life now? Are you training 3 or 4, 5, 6 times a day? How do you guys go about?
Yeah, like I think the setup that we have at the Lions, it kind of takes up your whole day and your whole mindset. You know, we train 4 out of the 5 days of the week, and it is quite a long day, and the trainings are tougher. You know, it's not like school where, you know, it's only in the afternoons. You know, we train from the morning to the afternoon, and there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of influence, and it's much different. You know, you have to work harder. You know, you can't be tired. You have to be on at every training session. Otherwise, you know, it's your job. You get paid to do that. So that's, I think, the biggest thing. You're
actually sacrificing yourself, and you're Greg, if I take it, and I mean, I'm asking you straight as a parent now, is that we obviously all we want for our sons to be the next Springbok. We all got that little thing in your corner of your, and the moment you see injury coming in, then you're like, maybe we must stop this. But as a parent, I want to ask you, because there's so much, and I'm trying to educate as well in the process. Parents believe that their son is the next guy. But how do you handle it if, like with your son, is now successful in what he's doing, and his journey at this moment is positive and in the right place? How do you manage it as a parent? Because you need to keep him calm, but you want to be proud, but you also, it's a tough job for you as well as a parent.
Yeah, I think what we've always tried to stress with Sam specifically is the balance. So I think the setup that he's at the moment with the Lions is fantastic, because, you know, he's studying part-time at Wits, doing his BCom, and we've stressed that the education side of it is as important. So he's got this fantastic opportunity to find out how good he can be, and, you know, the Lions setup provide him with all the infrastructure to be able to really see how good he can be as a rugby player. Whether he will be good enough to make that transition up, I think only time will tell. But the fact is that he's going to also have an opportunity to get a degree, and then if he needs to pivot from the rugby to the studies, it's going to be a very easy transition for him as well. So I think it's the balance and being realistic, and then we just provide him all the support.
But because we must also remember, they're not going to be rugby players for the they're also going to be, and we don't want to call it an injury like what happened with you, but there is going to be a expiry date, and you also need to know that you're not forever going to play rugby. At some stage, you're going to become a husband and a father to kids, and you have to have a career. We all hope that we're getting the Springbok contract and you earn billions sitting in a bank. That's what we want. But the real life, you're going to.
I think the big danger with the professional rugby era is that you can be a professional rugby player for 10 years or 12 years. You can support yourself and make a good living for that period, but you're not going to create wealth. And when you stop playing rugby, then what do? And I think a lot of guys have caught themselves in that position of they've lived a good 10, 12 year life, but then as soon as the rugby stops, They haven't saved, they haven't made enough money, they're not well known enough to transition to something else. So I think a lot of guidance and mentorship needs to be provided to young players.
As a parent, you need
a
to-
parent, and if they don't have a parent that can guide them, then you need mentors, that within the line setup
Yes.
or wherever they may be.
Yes. What are you studying?
Yeah, so right now I'm studying a BCom, investment management. So it's a part-time degree, which means I do my first year over 2 years. So my modules are split by each year. So it does give me a lot of extra time, to focus on my rugby, and I do get a lot of time to study. We have 3 lectures a week, so I have no excuse to not thrive in my academics.
So a day in Sam's life now, in a week, without expanding it too much, let's talk about that, because I think a lot of kids think, I'm now at the Lions, I'm sitting there, I'm lounging around, we go for a gym session, meeting some girls, do signatures, and then go home and eat mommy's food. It's not like that.
No, definitely not. It's a bit different. We so like on a normal, in the moment we obviously involved in the Varsity Cup at the moment, so we're not doing too much field sessions at the Lions, obviously, because we're training at the Varsity. So the Lions guys will go in the morning and we'll have our gym sessions.
So it's like 7:30.
That'll be
7:30.
Sure.
Then, yeah.
7:30, and then we'll have our gym sessions. Those who need medicals will go, those who need to do their bio and their rehab and go for physio sessions or whatever recovery they need, they'll go check in at the Lions in the morning, and then by like 12 o'clock they'll be out and we'll go home, eat lunch maybe, and then at 3 o'clock, around 3 o'clock, you'll have a session with the Varsities, which goes until like 6 o'clock, and then your lectures after that at like 6:30. So,
And when do you study?
yeah.
Wow.
You try cram all of that into your lectures,
Yeah.
trust the lecturer, but obviously you have to
Yes.
find time in your day, and
Yeah.
that's the thing about time management with all of the rugby going on.
Yeah, and, as a coach, I've also had a lot of kids coming in front of me, and we'll always obviously have chats, and it's like, okay, but you need to get in the gym early morning. Coach, I'm tired. I'm not. Then I said, rather leave your rugby dreams, because that's going to be your job. You're not going to tell the Lions, I'm not in for a gym session. A few sessions, and there's another guy that will be replacing you. So that's what position are you playing?
I play loose forward, so
Like that.
any of the loose forward positions.
Wow. And haven't played hooker? You're very tall, so that's.
I don't advise it.
Oh, you don't advise it.
Only lock, been slotted at lock before, and then
Yeah.
loose forward.
In Afrikaans we say hakker of 'n hoeker is soos 'n boerewors in 'n slaghuis. There must always be a little bit of vark in it.
Absolutely.
A hooker is he's just a different breed. They do it differently. They're tough. Well, not that the rest are not tough, but they just got something different in them. Coming back to you today in your life, rugby is now gone. Now you're the biggest supporter of your son, but you've got another son and a daughter as well, and a wife.
Absolutely. Yeah, so my eldest son Jack is studying at Tux. He's in his 3rd year. He's playing some the res rugby, Corsace rugby, which he loves. He does enjoy his rugby. And then my daughter's in grade 10, and she's at boarding school at Somerset College. Also loves her sport, hockey and water polo as well, like her brothers.
That's a water polo, yeah.
And I've got a lovely wife. She works with a company, a Broll property company, and she's got also a very successful career. And she's very supportive, and I think we can all count ourselves very lucky.
And you working for all your life in media, so
Right.
explain to us that.
So it's media sales. So I've always been selling media space, whether it's been in the out-of-home space, more of your billboard stuff. I'm now in sort of what we call mobile digital space. But I've been in this industry for over 25 years.
Okay.
So it's all I know. I think the beauty about the Kes brotherhood is that I've actually worked with Kes boys most of my life. So we stick together and we look after each other, which has been fantastic.
That's the nice part of it. As there's always, it's like when I arrive at Monash, doesn't matter. I love other schools as well, but it's just ons is wonders.
Absolutely.
Even if it's a youngster coming through now, and I love that from South African rugby. We're going now into this festival times with all the.
Fest, yeah.
Oh, I must say that's one of the best things is what the English schools are doing with that war cries and that. It's just
lovely,
it's just amazing. I mean, they just fill up the place, and there's just a geest that's among that. Do you miss that from school? Because now it's a lonely place. You don't have all that. I think the hype from school was nice, and they'll pick you up, and there's girls and boys, and everyone is around, and there's thousands. Now you're going to the gym on your own.
Like, I think, at school, you're kind of the heroes of your grade 8s, 9s, and whoever else, and everyone's looking up to you, everyone's supporting you, everyone's complimenting you. Your confidence is quite high at school. Especially if you're playing for the first team. You walk out, there's war cries, everyone's kind of praising you, and when you get out of school, it's none of that. It's you and yourself. And I think that's the transition to getting to that big stage again. It's actually facing that confidence battle, and that's what school brings.
That makes it so nice. Your dad was telling me about his being a parent towards a son. How amazing is to have a dad that has been around the park as well. And do you listen to his advice, or are you a bit arrogant on that?
Most of the time I do.
We'll ask him now if he thinks the same. But do you guys sit down and have chats around it afterwards or beforehand? How does it go in the Bruwer house with that? Do you guys, let's say there's a game now on Monday. What happens on Sunday? Do you guys chat around it, or is it each to their own?
I personally, I don't want to talk around it too much because I think Sam goes into his own space and he kind of knows what to do. But I do think before most of his games, I would send him a little WhatsApp with a couple of pointers of just things for him to maybe think about or focus on. And then he'll do his thing. But like you say, as a parent, you can get as nervous as your son before these big games. So I think that's why I'm so grey now. It was from the last couple of years watching Sam.
And for you as well with do you listen to you? Let's go back to that part. Do you listen to your dad for advice, or do you actually just go with your coach? Because I mean, sitting with a dad that also has got a list of things that he did. I mean, you can listen to him. But do one actually go down to that? I'm asking you the same. I've got a son that's also playing, and sometimes I wonder, do you actually listen to it? Because, or do you say it's later for coach?
No, definitely. I think he's there to help you, and luckily he knows the game of rugby. He knows the mental side of it, and if I have any concerns or anything that I need to get off my chest with regards to rugby, and if there's anything that he's seen in like other teams or in my rugby game, definitely will chat to him. Just because, like, for example, when I was at school, I was at boarding school, so we chat to him on WhatsApp, sometimes call him, and I'll tell him how practice has been and this and that, and he would just give me some good advice. So I definitely do listen to him.
That's lekker, and I think it's nerve-wracking. I mean, Greg, when you were playing, you would go and you do your thing, but now you must sit down and you're like, how do you treat it, guys? It's a special thing to have a dad and a son that's been playing rugby, and I think our game, we love it so much that we can share it. And I think that the thing is that in today's society we at so the fathers are listening to the sons, and the sons are listening to the fathers, and it's nice to have this type of relationships building. And I think there's a lot of this type of relationships, but it's important to also keep that going, because that's one of the things you said. I'm proud of what I've got, my family. I mean, everything you did was good, everything you played, everything, your business, but my family I'm proud of, and that I think is great to have that part of it in it.
Absolutely.
At the end of every program from 80 cook pluk, now out of the cookie jar for the English speaking, if you take that there's an old jar, just give me that jar, let me just get that. So in the old years you used to have a cookie jar like this. Today you just buy it in plastic and you rip it open, but Oma used to do some cookies in this thing, and she would stick it there very high that you can't get hold of it. And when Oma leaves to town, you would go there and Oma would have the most special cookies in this thing. The others you'll just have in a plate, you can have it. But for one or other reason, Sam, and you won't know this, but we were struggling to open this can. For some or other reason, our fingers were not strong enough or whatever, or it's sealed enough with the heat, something, but we couldn't open this. So the koekblik, you struggled to open, but when you got it open, you had this magic cookies that were sitting in it. Coming back to you guys, opening the koekblik from the Bruwer, is my reflection back on what you guys on. I want to salute you guys for the fact that it's so nice seeing a father-son combination doing what you guys are doing, and your successes, his and your successes, and that's the nice, and it's almost Team Bruwer that I'm seeing here, and you react on things that he do, but you're allowing him to be who he wants to be. And you're not forcing down your whatever you did, and you made a lot of achievements, but you're allowing Sam to be Sam, and that's special. And the same with you, acknowledging your dad is so nice, and taking a bit out of his footsteps. So my cookie oomlik today is saying we need more of the Bruwers out there. We need more fathers to allow their sons to play and doing what you guys are doing, and the successes are here. You're two great guys, and it's nice having you guys on the koekblik.
Awesome.
That's it. Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it. Lovely to chat to you.
Thank you.
Vertel ons je story.